What's up, y'all? Oscar here. Golden Truth, episode 27. Oh man. After we stopped doing this weekly show, it's really hard for me to keep up with the numbers. Um the last episode was what of the Golden Truth? I think it was like a random um football or random NFL game that we were streaming. Then I did the Super Bowl live stream, but I didn't label that as Golden Truth. But we're back. Got my guy Aaron. If you
What?
hear him clicking away, he's playing a video game. It sounds.
I'm getting my butt kicked, actually.
There you go. This is what's coming up on tonight's docket for the show. We got Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. The drama surrounding that. The Ravens being are the Ravens being stingy, not paying Lamar Jackson, or does Lamar Jackson really need an agent?
Absolutely, he does.
So so that's what we're going to be discussing. The Giants overpaying Daniel Jones. Don't even get me started with the Giants overpaying Daniel Jones.
By the way, can I still call this the meaningless quarterback carousel?
Yes, you actually can. Derek Carr going to the Saints. We'll give our takes about that. Jimmy G going to the Raiders.
They're so desperate to move on.
Wait, Baker Mayfield going to the Buccaneers?
I still think that that's a load of crap. I think when Tom Brady hears that Baker Mayfield's the guy to replace him, instantly he's going to come back.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He'd be like, wait, what?
That guy. John Watson part 2.
Not even, oh my God, that's so, like, Baker Mayfield is worse than Deshaun Watson.
I would like to introduce you to an organization full of people who have their heads up their butts.
Yeah. What else? There was more that I wanted.
Tyler Heineke go to the Falcons.
Just to be a backup. Desmond Ritter's the guy.
I don't know
how long that guy is gonna last. I say 5 games, and then Taylor Heineke take over after that.
Is he the Heineke to a winning season
for the Falcons? That is. Let me see. The Cowboys also releasing Ezekiel Elliott.
That's
what other things have been going on in the NFL? Well, a lot of things have been going on. It's free agency, man. Like, the start of the new league year. Getting ready for the draft in about a month, or a little over a month. So
watching as Washington drafts another quarterback.
Huh?
Watching as Washington drafts another quarterback.
Shut up.
Come on, bro. You know it's coming. Just like the Colts have to do so. And by the way, okay, I don't know if you saw this, but was it the Panthers traded up to take Chicago number 1 overall?
I agree with that pick. Actually, I agree with that move because of this. I feel like, not to say anything, dude, but these rookie quarterbacks, unless you're like the top guys that, for example, Jalen Hurts, like a Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson when he was with the Texans, before he sat out. Let me see who was in there. Justin Herbert, guys like that. I feel like that era is gone, where they're gonna be teams are not gonna have to be forced to bench these quarterbacks. The rookie quarterbacks, have them sit for like maybe 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, that's
to get the quarterbacks room. I mean, look at Kenny Pickett. You said, like, we honestly thought that Kenny Pickett was gonna be was gonna flop.
Yeah, but he's only had 1 year, bro. You can't say that he's a success yet.
No, but like, you basically said that the Steelers were gonna go 5-12 when they went 9-8.
And in that case, I was wrong. I will admit that. But at the same time, if you sit here right now and you tell me he's already a success, you're full of crap.
No. I'm not saying he's a success. I feel like what I'm getting at is these rookie quarterbacks are gonna have to sit and learn behind veterans. So why would the Bears want to drafted Bryce Young.
No, because the Bears have committed to Justin Fields
when they already had Justin Fields. So for the Panthers, in the Panthers case, the Panthers signed Andy Dalton. So I expect maybe Andy Dalton to start the season, maybe like the first 2 or 3 games or so, give or take. The Panthers are gonna stink it up, but because the NFC South is so bad and there's so many, and it's like so much turmoil in that division, that they're just gonna, the Panthers are just gonna throw out Bryce Young. Just said, you know what, we're either at 1-2, maybe depending on the schedule, 2-1. Just get us to 6 or 7 more wins. Can you do that for us? Okay, good.
Let me ask you this.
That should be good enough to get the Panthers the division.
If you think, well, and that's the thing too, the Panthers have to somehow salvage that 2-headed running attack and get the production that they had at the end of last year. Otherwise, they got no freaking shot.
I mean, here's the thing, and this is another thing that kills them. In that trade package with the Bears, they gave away their best weapon, DJ Moore.
You bet your ass they did.
So, like, you draft Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, but like, who's he gonna throw to?
Not a damn person.
Exactly. Like the running game is gonna be good.
Well,
is it gonna be good enough to carry you to like 7 or 8 wins, which would most likely win the division?
Which, by the way, now the Bears will have Chase Claypool along with
DJ Moore.
Yeah, exactly.
They have Darnell Mooney.
Honestly, the division could be wide open. It could be a race between the Bears and the Vikings.
Lions, because the Lions ended up on a winning note last season too.
Yeah,
I feel like Green Bay Packers. I feel like the fans are too over. Like, it's the Taylor Heineke effect, dude, with freaking Jordan Love. Like, Jordan Love stepped in that one game that when the Packers got blown out by the Eagles that one game, and because Jordan Love like threw 3 touchdown passes and a blowout win, they were like, "Oh, it's the next Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna be the next guy. He's." Nah, I feel like it's gonna be the Taylor Heineke effect. When Taylor Heineke, when he was no longer the X factor and he was named the Washington starter for 17 games, he was only good enough to get you 7 wins, and that's it.
Well, and by the way, considering that,
Jordan Love may be the same way. Anyway, go ahead.
I was going to say that it's funny to me that there are certain teams that if anybody puts their stamp of approval on them, then if anybody who puts their stamp of approval on a quarterback, that quarterback immediately begins to suck. And I think Washington just happens to be one of those teams where as soon as they show faith in you, you're going to suck.
Yeah.
And I think Chicago might be that same team because you wait now that they've committed to Justin Fields, he's going to stink up the joint.
I
don't want to be
the only
right.
reason why I feel like they're going to stink it up is because they have a defensive-minded head coach. I don't know why the Bears wanted or went with a defensive-minded head coach when they could have gone offensive-mind to develop Justin Fields, because that offense
they need weapons.
Aside from Justin Fields running the ball all the time, the Bears were putrid. Like, anyway, I guess we can talk about Aaron Rodgers now. Get the
prima donna of the hour.
Oh my goodness, this dude! What the heck was that? He was like the dark. Oh, he went into a darkness retreat, which I found. I'm like, what? Like, Jason and I were talking about it. Jason's like, what the heck is a darkness retreat? I'm like,
do you remember the guy? Do you remember the guy I showed you the memes for?
Yeah, huh?
He made a really funny meme, and it was freaking hilarious. It goes like, all these teams were like winning in anticipation, and then they're like, oh shit, this guy's not making a decision at all.
Oh man, like the pack. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is holding the Packers hostage. Just move, dude. Just say that you want to go to the Jets and move on. Like,
Yeah, but I think that there's a bit of it. There's a bit of it that he's scared of, and what he's scared of is becoming Brett Favre #2.
I mean, if he wanted to avoid all those, if he wanted to avoid all of that, all he needed to do was play up to par, and people wouldn't have turned on him in Green Bay, and him not be an asshole, because him being an asshole.
And by the way, Alan Lazard's with the Jets now too.
Exactly, like, dude, that was basically moves for him to go to New York Jets.
Oh no, absolutely it was. Absolutely it was.
And not to say anything, dude. Okay, fine. The Packers didn't have weapons galore last season. Okay, if you go to the Jets and you fail and you flop, what's your excuse?
You had Christian Watson and Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb couldn't stay healthy. Christian Watson is a rookie, so he's obviously green.
Doesn't mean that they're not good. Look at Isaiah Likely.
Isaiah Likely is a tight end. Was he good? Was he and Mark Andrews good enough for Mr. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens? No.
He was better than Christian Watson was.
No, he was not. Stop. No. Christian Watson had like 7 touchdowns. What did Isaiah Likely have? Just 3 touchdowns in that one Tampa Bay game?
If you're going solely based off of touchdowns, you're only looking at half the story. Who made their quarterback look the best?
Yeah, you have a point there. But again, at the same time, the core that the Jets have, and this time the Jets have a decent running game. They basically have their Aaron Jones and Breece Hall and whoever else is there. I don't know who.
Change the culture, then come talk to me.
Again, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I don't know.
Right, and I'm not saying you won't be, but it was the same thing with the Lions. Change the culture of the locker room, and then come talk to me.
Mm-hmm. Anywho.
But long story short, to point out what I was saying before, Aaron Rodgers is a damn prima donna.
Yeah.
Because another meme that I saw. Oh shit! It was really funny. It was like, the list of demands for Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah.
I was laughing my ass off, dude.
That was funny.
And it was like, they just wanted to call them the Packers.
Dang, the New York Packers.
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you right now. I was laughing so damn hard right now. I was like, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about, by the way, we're saving Lamar and the Ravens for last, because I feel like you and I go back and forth way too much of it. So we're going to save that for last.
We may, and that's okay. I'm just
all right. Ezekiel Elliott being released by the Dallas Cowboys.
It was a long time coming. Tony Pollard's been groomed.
Yeah, but here the Cowboys are making that same mistake, dude. Watch Tony Pollard bust his ass off on that franchise tag, and then Jerry Jones is gonna do Jerry Jones thing, and then sign him to that same ridiculous contract, wear him out. He's only like Tony Pollard is gonna basically be like irrelevant within the next 2 or 3 years.
And you know what? I think you're right on that. I want to have more faith in him, in Tony Pollard, because this is the thing. Another one of those teams that as soon as you put faith in them, they flop. That's the Dallas Cowboys too. They've put faith in Tony Pollard. They're screwed.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I remember when it was Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott, like early days, like the first 3 seasons that they were in the league. Like I feared both of them. I'm like, crap, freaking Dak and Zeke is coming down. Like when I would hear Ezekiel Elliott not playing Yeah, Commander, at least Washington has a chance. But now, when I hear Ezekiel Elliott's playing, I'm like, I don't fear Ezekiel Elliott anymore.
You know what would have scared me back in the day? Imagine if Ezekiel Elliott had gone to the Giants, and then you had Saquon Barkley in his prime, and then Ezekiel Elliott in his.
Oh, dude. And technically, Daniel Jones would have to just be dink and dunk.
Exactly.
But okay, and I guess we can transition.
Oh,
the Giants are putting too much stock in the Daniel Jones basket, if you ask me.
It may be. Time will tell for that.
48 million off of one good year.
And by the way, he's going to ruin it even more for quarterbacks.
I mean, he's not getting paid Mahomes level money, at least, or in this case, Aaron Rodgers money, because Aaron Rodgers is due to get 60 million this year.
Well, to me, that shows desperation by the Jets anyway. That's not, and he actually earned that freaking salary. That is desperation, absolute desperation.
Well, here's the thing, because the Giants put themselves in this bind because here's what happened last season. They did not pick up Daniel Jones' fifth-year option.
No, they did not.
So this year he was basically playing, auditioning for a team. But when he played well enough and he took the Giants to the playoffs, won a playoff game, the Giants were like, "Oh crap, we have to pay this dude now." And also, we want to franchise tag him, but we also need to Saquon Barkley because him and Saquon Barkley actually played well. So they were like, what do we do? So what happened? They had to overpay for Daniel Jones, and they franchised Saquon Barkley, who I guess, again, we'll have to wait and see. Basically, what I don't like about Saquon Barkley is he's good one year, gets hurt in the next year, plays good in the following year, gets hurt the next year. It's like, can he end the seesaw this year? We'll have to wait and see. But he's on the franchise tag as Saquon.
Two big mouths that think they're more valuable than they actually are.
Like, if you would have told me that Daniel Jones got maybe like Dak level, like maybe 40 mil, because at first I thought 40 million for Daniel Jones. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Dak, basically Dak money. But then I saw 8 million extra in incentives. I'm like, ooh, that could go up to 50 million. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's that good enough to get 50 million, but okay.
We can get into the topic of guaranteed money later, because that is a whole other topic in and of itself, in that how much does it take to guarantee money? How much does it take to guarantee money to actually put a quarterback in a better contract?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how much needs to be guaranteed and how much needs to be earned? I mean, you could make the argument that all of it needs to be earned, but that's not the way the NFL is these days.
Mm-mm. The NFL is more not, dude. The NFL, they
it's a bunch of babies.
Do it more for the money now than they do for playing the sport.
No, and I agree with you on that. And I'm telling you this because it's what needs to be heard.
So let me see.
If it's a buyer's market out there, that's bad for teams. That's really bad for teams.
I mean, we'll see. Time will tell. Like this season, if the Giants, I'm sorry, but if the Giants go 9-8 and make it into the playoffs with that 7 seed at 9-8 and get knocked out in the wild card round, that's proof that Daniel Jones is going to be basically Kirk Cousins 2.0, and they overpaid him. Because Kirk Cousins, tell me one good thing that Kirk Cousins did to get paid that money.
To me, I saw this year, and I never saw anybody choke more than if they were eating too much food.
Like Kirk Cousins, just because he leads the league in passing touchdowns or leads the league in passing yardage, they give him that money. They basically give him that contract.
If you
what does he do? He doesn't win a championship.
If you put him against a team that's actually good, they flop. And
You don't have to put again, dude. The Vikings were the odds-on favorite to beat the Giants, and they couldn't even do that with all the starts. With Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. You couldn't beat a less talented roster, really?
Oh yeah, and the Cowboys too. The Cowboys too, because you let a mediocre team score 40 points on your heads.
Are you talking about the Jaguars?
No, I'm talking about the Cowboys.
No.
The Vikings lost 40-3 to freaking Dallas.
Oh, that too. So I'm like, man, Kirk Cousins, like, he got another extension. I'm like, why? Just move on.
No, I only have one thing to describe Kirk Cousins.
Basically.
You like my charades?
Yep.
I thought you would.
Nice. Anyway, let's talk about some quarterback movements and how mediocre they are. Jimmy, basically, they did no, they did not. Never mind. I was going to say they did a swap. They swapped Jimmy G for Derek Carr, but I forgot that Jimmy G was with the 49ers. So
here we go.
Jimmy G went to the 49ers and goes to the Raiders, where if he was bad with the 49ers, I really don't want to picture him with the Raiders.
The Raiders have no freaking weapons except for Devontae Adams. You double cover Devontae Adams, and
it's not that though.
Raiders.
It's not the offense. It's not the offense because they got Hunter Renfrow, who's pretty decent. They got the running back and Jacobs. It's that defense, dude.
No, when
Jimmy G went from the defense carried Jimmy G with the 49ers. The Raiders aren't going to do that with him in the Raiders.
Well, I think when Jimmy G gets there, it will be the offense, because even though
Jimmy G is going to basically prove that he's a 5-12, 6-11 guy.
He's going to prove that even if you have good receivers, it doesn't matter if you don't hit them. He's not very accurate. That's what I'm saying.
He's not accurate, but that's what I'm saying also. He's not that good. Basically, the 49ers carried him to a Super Bowl. It wasn't because of him. It was because of the defense that took him to that Super Bowl. And the Raiders are going to expose that. Again, the Raiders are going to went from there's not going to be a difference. There's not going to be a difference. The Raiders again will be what were they? 7-10 this past year? They're going to win 2 games less. They're going to go 5-12. Watch.
They should take Garoppolo off the back and put in Diet Carr. Diet Derek Carr.
Basically.
That's what should be on the back of that man's jersey.
Now the question is, how good can the Saints be with Derek Carr? Because the Saints actually have a pretty legitimate defense.
I think having Taysom Hill for gadget plays is going to
that too.
Well,
that too. Like the Saints actually have weapons on offense that if he can be accurate enough, they could. And the defense is actually legit. Like, it's not the Raiders' defense. Like, the Saints are actually pretty good on defense. So they do their thing on defense. Derek Carr, passes it like to maybe Chris Olave and those guys just enough for them to win. I think that the Saints could actually end up winning 8 or 9 games.
No, I think they will run away with the NFC South. I think they will. I don't think that momentum that Carolina has going with that 2-headed running attack, I don't think it lasts.
Because it's a new head coaching staff.
Growing pains year.
Basically.
Desmond Ridder, well, for the Panthers, it's a growing pains year. The Saints, not necessarily, because all they did was change the leader. Their building blocks are still the same, so all they have to do is train Derek Carr to play their offense. You're good to go.
Basically.
With Carolina right now, with them trying to bring in somebody, they have to train. They still have these running backs that they still have to train. They still have an offensive line that
They
is
need to fix.
inconsistent. It's good when it's good when it can be good, but it's inconsistent.
Yeah. And
Desmond
they also need to get weapons around the rookie quarterback that they're gonna draft to, because
No,
they
no,
basically gave up a bunch of draft capital for that first round pick, for
and,
that first overall pick.
and by the way, the Colts are doomed because if you look at number 2 overall picks throughout history, they've been absolute debacles.
I mean, right now it's between like CJ Stroud and but the Texans. Shoot, I forgot the Texans have the number 2 pick. So say the Panthers pick Bryce Young. Texans are going to pick CJ Stroud, and the next best guy after that, from what I hear, is Anthony Richardson, who I hear is a project. He's basically a younger Lamar Jackson, but doesn't have the accuracy,
And that'll be
and
interesting.
he's less proven. So
That'll be interesting.
I don't know if the Colts are gonna want to do that whole entire project thing, especially if they're they're basically a quarterback away from winning the AFC
watch
South.
the Colts take Deshaun Watson.
Huh?
Watch this. If the Texans take another quarterback, Deshaun Watson, especially because of off-the-field publicity, will not stay there, and he will go. Okay, these are the 2 moves that I see happening. Either the Colts go in and they take Deshaun Watson, which would be a win-win for Deshaun Watson because he could get back at the Texans, the team that let him go.
I don't think that the Colts would or the Browns would want to let Deshaun Watson go.
Or that's the Browns. Yeah. Okay, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe the Texans do go. But here's my question for you. Do you think Trey Lance would work in the Colts system? If you recall, he hasn't played very much, so he hasn't
played very much, but also that offensive line for the Colts has lost a step. Like they went from the top being the top offensive line in football to being abysmal last year. So like,
do you think they're bad because they're just not good, or do you think they're bad because they're not athletic?
No, I think that they're bad just because they just lost a step and they got older.
Okay, that's a fair point. But
so I feel like if they're regressing, that means that Trey Lance is going to have to be more on his feet, ergo more hits. And what can he not do? Stay healthy.
But if the Colts will use their draft capital to beef up their offensive line, do you think they could make an argument to Trey Lance to go there?
Good point. Yeah, I could see it. But the thing is that Brock Purdy won't be ready by the beginning of the season, from what I heard.
He won't be, but I think that
and there's no Jimmy G that will save them this time.
That's true. But I don't. Trey Lance didn't do very well. Trey Lance did not do very well in the system.
Well, I think what's going to happen is this. They're going to give Trey Lance one more year. The fans aren't going to like it, but they're going to give Trey Lance one more year. If he doesn't play up to the Brock Purdy expectations, he's gone. They're trading him next year.
And Brock Purdy will be the guy in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And he'll have to be because they've got nobody else left. But this is the time that they really have to worry about. Like, they need his talent. They need Kyle Shanahan's talent for grooming quarterback. They absolutely need it.
Yeah.
And if they don't get it, it's going to cost them everything. You have Christian McCaffrey, but that can only take you so far in a division.
You have Christian McCaffrey. You have
George Kittle,
Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brian Ayuk, who's okay, I guess.
He's a good number 2 wide receiver. He's a good number 2.
Like, not saying anything, but the 49ers are just gadget players all around. That's what I don't like about the 49ers.
Well, it reminds me a little bit of what the Broncos had to be the year that they had lost all their quarterbacks due to COVID protocols, and they had to play against the Saints.
That was funny.
I laughed my ass off when I saw that. I was like, ha ha ha.
They had a rando practice squad wide receiver be quarterback. I'm like,
You bring in Terrell Pryor, at least that'd be a step up.
I'm like, this is not gonna end well.
Like I said, bringing Terrell Pryor, it's it's a step up. You bring Tim Tebow back
for at least a game.
Shit, it'd be a per appearance deal. Oh damn, that's too funny.
Bring back Peyton Manning for at least a game.
Hell, you Rex Gross, you'd had a better shot. God dang, or freaking.
They're like, all right, Peyton, I know you're retired and all, but all you need to do is maybe throw at least 10 passes. And we know that you still have a little bit of arm strength. Use that arm strength to at least complete 10 passes, and then our defense can carry you the rest of the way.
Honestly, it's the freaking truth, though. It's the freaking truth. Like,
all right, let me see what other news. What other things broke this week?
Raiders, that's what broke this week.
Huh?
The spirit of the Raiders, that's what broke this week.
Facts. Man, I've never shitted on the Raiders as much as I have since I've met Jason.
That's what makes it funny.
Let me see.
It's like half the NFL teams have their heads up their asses. And you know what? Miami still thinks that somehow Tom Brady will come to them.
No, because they already gave Tua Tagovailoa his 5th-year option.
Ah, and then of course the Ravens franchise tagged Lamar.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of other topics before.
Yeah, we don't go to that right now. I'm just saying, like, okay, what about I
know I'm missing a big. I know I'm missing something big.
Juju Smith-Schuster went to oh shoot, where did he go?
Patriots.
Thank you. Why the hell could I not remember that?
Yay! He's gonna go lose with Mac Jones and the Patriots. He went from a Super Bowl championship team to being a loser.
His ring, and he got it with Kansas City, and now he's moving on.
Okay, but here's the thing. If it wasn't for Tua getting hurt, I'm willing to bet that the Dolphins would have been more competition for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I could agree with that, but
because dude, Tyreek Hill, everyone was saying, "Oh well, Tyreek Hill doesn't care about Super Bowls anymore." Oh, we saw he's proving people wrong because he's basically making catches. It's been the quarterback play that's been holding the Dolphins back because the Dolphins cannot keep Tua healthy.
No, they cannot, and it's because their offensive line is getting worse and worse, and that's why. A lack in production from their running back squad too.
That too. Oh, by the way, speaking of offensive line, Orlando Brown, the offensive lineman for the Chiefs, goes to the Bengals.
As if they needed it. As if they needed any freaking body else.
What are you talking about? The Bengals had one of the worst offensive lines in football this past season too.
And yet somehow they still made it to the freaking AFC Championship.
That's because Joe Burrow had to do Joe Burrow things.
The way he plays, I don't see Burrow like physically lasting too many more years.
I give him
3 more years.
No, I'll be generous. I'll give him 4 or 5. The one who I think that will actually exit the NFL in 2 or 3 years is Tua.
Yeah, he'll be like Andrew Luck number 2.
Basically.
Which sucks for him.
No, RG3.
Is RG3 even still under contract, or is he just out?
No, he's out. He's an analyst for ESPN.
Good job, Washington. Actually, it's good job RG3 didn't protect himself.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, like
actually, no, it was him. Okay, so here's the problem that I heard from both sides of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Dan Snyder, like RG3 like didn't want to rest. What does Dan Snyder like to do? He likes to side with his quote unquote franchise guy. That's what happened with RG3, and that's what happened with Dwayne Haskins. So, like Mike Shanahan and the doctors were like, "Hey, bro, you need to relax or whatever. You need to take it easy." But and like Kirk Cousins could at least win 2 or 3 games, but no, RG3 was like, "Nah, this is my team. I want to play. I want to play." And like Dan Snyder was like, "Yo,
got his head up his ass.
So if Dan Snyder and RG3 weren't so thick-headed,
they are.
Let Mike Shanahan do what Mike Shanahan did, and let Kirk Cousins step in for those 2 or 3 games, RG3 guarantee would have been fine.
He would have probably stayed the starter in Washington. He probably would have stayed the starter. You wouldn't have seen Tyler Heineke or anything.
Exactly. But no, Dan Snyder had to do Dan Snyder things, get involved. Oh, by the way, fun fact. Dan Snyder and Tanya Snyder, they cleared out their things out of their office.
Really?
So the sale is imminent, bro. I'm so happy.
Like, again, I'm not going to go back to them, but that doesn't mean that I am not happy for the people that are there, because I feel like a lot more people are going.
Man, they're gonna be parades in DC. I'm not a parade type of person because I'm not a people person, but I'm going to that. I'm like next bus to DC. I'm gonna go celebrate.
From a human being perspective, there's going to be a lot more people that are much better off with them gone.
Yeah, from what I heard is that they cleared out their offices, and right now, like Dan Snyder is hiding in London.
I hope somebody finds him and beats the crap out of him.
Oscar does not condone the actions of what Aaron just said. YouTube, do not ban me.
I'm sorry.
We do not encourage violence on the Golden Truth.
Yeah, but we don't encourage sex trafficking either, and yet
that too, but still,
that was what Dan Snyder was engaged in.
That's true too. Oh, let me see.
Eye for an eye, said Justinian.
True. Let's see.
Said the Emperor Justinian.
I know that there were other moves. Why can't I think of them? And I had a list of them too. We already did Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. We did.
Any more receivers move around?
I mean, aside from Alan Lazard.
Which, again, I think that's going to be like, that reminds me so much of when Brady was
DeAndre Hopkins or Odell Beckham trying to think that they're going to be going to the Dallas Cowboys. That's funny.
It doesn't matter anyways, because if the running game doesn't stay like, if the running game doesn't stay good, because Dak Prescott is a straight up like run first team with play action off of it. And if the running game doesn't stay productive, then the wide receivers won't be productive either.
Yeah, but not saying thing. D-Hop shouldn't go to Dallas. I mean, I know it's close for him because he's in. Oh wait, no, he's not in Houston anymore. He's in Arizona. Never mind.
D-Hop needs to go to.
He needs to go to Baltimore.
That would be interesting.
Here are my destinations for D-Hop.
So
Patriots, Ravens, and who's another good team?
Raiders.
No. Really? No.
I'm saying to partner alongside Devontae Adams.
So you want him? His career is already dead. So you want him to be buried?
That's a fair point. I'll give you that. or send him to Kansas City.
Nah, they're good.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, if they were able to win a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill, that's all Patrick Mahomes, dude.
Yeah, well, Mahomes, even with a hurt ankle, by the way. Like, if he was healthy, I fear for the Eagles. If he was healthy, I mean, damn, dude.
Here are the teams that I would actually like D-Hop.
As you said, Baltimore,
Patriots,
Washington. Just kidding.
No, we're good. Dang it! You made me lose my train of thought. Oh, Bears. Ooh, but the Bears don't have draft picks. Never mind. Oh wait, yes they do. Yeah,
He'd be an
Bear.
interesting partner
Can you
alongside
imagine? Can
Chase
you
Claypool.
imagine?
Chase Claypool on one side and then D Hop on the other.
D Hop on the other, and then DJ Moore as their gadget guy, because DJ
Oh,
Moore is also a gadget guy.
shit. Honestly, at that point, the Bears could take the division at that point. Like having somebody like D Hop could literally break the NFC North.
Anyway,
I still don't see.
I guess that's fantasy booking.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say I don't see. Everybody's gonna be jumping on the Lions bandwagon, and I still don't see that happening.
Yeah, I get it. I feel like they're at best, no, at worst,
They're the Cowboys of the NFC North.
at best 9-8, 9-8, and wild card spot, maybe 7 seed.
I think everybody else has to do poorly for that to happen. I think.
I mean, you saw what the record. Let me see. I mean, dude, that 7 seed really screwed everything up because that gives those teams that 9-8 record in, because that's what happened. Like the Packers, all they needed to do was beat the
Lions.
The Lions, and they would have been 9-8 and into the 7 seed.
I was laughing so hard when they lost. I'm sorry, but like they were freaking cocky as hell.
Yeah, and the sad part is that the Lions had nothing to play for because the Seahawks won that one earlier. So basically, this. Oh yeah, the Seahawks. Smith dude getting an extension. The quarterback.
Geno Smith.
Huh?
Geno Smith.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be a flop.
Yeah, I think it was a flash in the pan, sad to say.
I'm sorry, but like
that 3-year extension for $100 million, not worth it.
You know what would have been an interesting thing had Haskins, survived? Is imagine if Haskins had gone to Seattle.
Oh no, dude! If Haskins would have survived, he probably wouldn't have been Kenny Pickett probably wouldn't have been a thing.
You think maybe Pickett would have sat for a year and then been traded, or sat for a rookie contract and then been traded?
Mm-hmm. Well, who knows? Maybe Dwayne Haskins really sucked, and like would have found himself on another. Yeah, I could have seen that happen, like him like bouncing around the league. To be honest.
Or imagine if Andrew Luck had stayed in the NFL.
He would have stayed with Colts.
A part of me, I mean, this is another thing too. Give Malik Willis 2 more years with the Titans, and he's going to be gone from Tennessee.
Dude, if that, because I hear that he's really bad. Where it's already buyer's remorse. The Titans are like, why the heck did we draft this dude?
I think that
at least he's only a 3rd round pick.
This is the cycle for the NFL. One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Basically.
Imagine if Malik Willis had gone to Seattle.
Russell Wilson.
Love it.
Russell Wilson 2.0.
I mean, for sure. And I bet you give another couple of years and Russell Wilson will be out of Denver too.
With Sean Payton though?
Yeah, but I think Payton will want more of a pocket passer than a runner.
Technically Russell Wilson is now more of a pocket passer because he
injured himself.
Cannot move around anymore. So,
but is he a good pocket passer though?
I mean, we'll see.
No, he won't. For obvious reasons.
Shut up.
There was a rumor that said that Carson Wentz is going to the Arena Football League.
There is no Arena Football League anymore. The next best thing would have been XFL, baby.
Oh yeah, Carson Wentz in the XFL. Hell yeah. Maybe he's friends with Dwayne the Rock Johnson or something. Because Dwayne's the one that owns the league.
Basically.
Damn. Carson Wentz, and then that's the way that he's gonna be like, I'm gonna fight my way back to the NFL. I'll either do the XFL or the USFL.
Facts. All right. Last segment of and your main event or main discussion of the evening.
For the longest time with this topic.
Hey, dude, the reason why I haven't paid up is because, unfortunately for you, the Ravens put the inexclusive franchise tag on him, so he could still end up being traded.
And I still think that the Ravens are in a lose-lose situation.
Basically,
because without him they suck and they can't get a contract for him because, and mind you, I am actually going to say this is the fault of Lamar and not Baltimore. I actually think that Baltimore has been offering him good contracts, and I think because he doesn't have an agent, he doesn't know what he should be saying yes to.
yeah.
Because if I don't know if you know this, they offered him a 3-year deal where it was actually a 5-year deal where the money from 3 of the 5 years was guaranteed.
Yeah, but I think what he wanted was the 5 years guaranteed, which again, I don't know if I said this on the air or off stream. Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson ruined it for Lamar Jackson. Because again, I think that's why the Ravens are kind of hesitant. They were like, "Man, we saw what happened with Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson. Those two organizations gave those two the money, and they're just flopping. Like, what if the same way with Lamar? Like, he gets hurt, and he keeps on getting hurt, and his play regresses. Like, we don't want to be eating that salary cap. So I feel like
Lamar had to
the
understand.
NFL as a whole is to blame.
Well, I think Lamar had to understand why, like, as a locker room leader, Lamar can be great. And I think that the reason why I liked the partnership between the Ravens and Lamar so much is because the Ravens bent over backwards to make things good for him. And that's why for the longest time Lamar looked so good.
I mean, my thing is this. The Ravens, one or two things are going to have to happen. A, someone really submits an offer sheet where the Ravens were like, "Damn, nice. I like these two first round picks for him. Like, let's just."
Hold on, I'm coming. Give me a second, bud.
Mm-hmm.
We'll continue this conversation in a second. Bear with me. Yeah.
Yeah, when we're waiting for not Jason, Aaron. I was about to call him Jason. Don't tell him I said that, y'all. Wah, 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 wah. I would have carried on the conversation, but I completely forgot what I was saying. Oh, I think he's coming back.
Hey, brother, they needed help with groceries. That's what they called me down for.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. I lost my train of thought.
My bad.
So there's like an awkward pause.
No, it's okay. It's So we were talking about how Lamar desperately needs an agent.
Yeah, because dude, like
Based
I'm
on his
all for someone being your own agent, but you also have to have good negotiation skills.
Well, and the Ravens, I think, to me, offered him a really good contract based on the fact of, yes, he's had good productivity, but the Ravens also were able to leave clauses in based on the fact that he is so injury prone.
Yeah, and I think that's what's holding the Ravens up.
It's a lose-lose because the Ravens can't win without him.
Yeah,
And
but Lamar can't stay healthy for 17 games. Like
the
last season, he finished completely healthy. I think was either 2019 his MVP season or the 2020 season. Even though he missed some time because of COVID, but I think he finished that season up like
he did.
Okay, so he did. So that was like, dude, that's almost 3 years of like, or two complete seasons of him being out for.
And that's why his whole 5 years should not be guaranteed to me.
I mean, I still say this. I feel like watch it be draft night, draft night 1, and they trade him when someone's on the clock.
And I'm telling you, if Lamar leaves Baltimore will not be a playoff team for the next like 8 or 9 years. The point differential,
project guy like an Anthony Richardson. I think that's what the dude's name is. I think with a guy like that, because he is kind of Lamar Jackson-esque. They'll just need to develop him. Basically, what they did with Lamar was.
But do the Ravens have enough draft picks where they can push for him?
Yeah, because you do this. The Colts trade. The Colts can trade for Lamar, offer 2 or 3 picks for Lamar. That will in essence, give the Ravens a chance to trade all the way up from, where are they now, like 18, 19?
Mm-hmm.
All the way up to 4.
And then take him then.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, and that's the only way for Baltimore to be able to salvage all the work they've done over the past like 3 or 4 draft seasons building for Lamar.
Yeah, it's not like the Commanders where they're stuck at 16 and we're stuck in. Dude, I hate that the Commanders they're bad, but they're not bad enough to be picking in the top 5.
Well, you guys are stuck in what you guys are stuck.
I find annoying.
You guys are stuck in what I call quarterback purgatory.
I'm like, not saying like we got Eric Bieniemy, yes, but I'm like, still Sam Howell. Like, Sam Howell does not convince me.
It doesn't convince me either. But and this is the thing too, the Colts are, believe it or not, now are right there with you guys too. The Colts are in the kind of in the exact same position that you guys are in my opinion. Because the Colts, they ever since Andrew Luck left,
Speaking of Andrew Luck retiring, you know the dude that took over after him, Jacoby Brissett. You know,
mm-hmm.
he's here in Washington for $10 million for this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
how many years does he have?
I'm like, dang. I'm like, dude, we could literally use our freaking draft capital to get Lamar. But no, Ron Rivera's too stingy.
It would be interesting to see Lamar in Washington. I don't think it would last very long, but
again, rebuild that offensive line. They got the weapons. They got the running back. You're set.
I still think you're gonna have to. The NFC East is so
I
up and
told
down.
I told Jason this because Jason was like, "Dude, Lamar can only play 10 games." I'm like, "Okay, he can." Lamar can go 7-3 or 6-4 or whatever, and then the backup quarterback, all he needs to do is win like 3 or 4 games out of the remaining 7.
What you need is another running back alongside Antonio Gibson. You have a
Antonio
two-head.
Gibson, and there's Brian Robinson.
Well, yeah, you use both of them, and you become a run-first team. Do play action with Lamar, and then every now and then, when he comes off the bootleg, he runs instead of throws.
Yeah, but unfortunately, again, Ron Rivera's too stingy. He ain't coming to Washington. I gave up on that reality when it was free agency, and
No, but the thing is, with everything that's going on off the field, nobody knows what Washington's priority actually is.
yeah, because again, the sale of the team so next week is the owners meeting. Supposedly, if Dan Snyder wasn't going to be public about like selling the team or whatever, they were basically going to use that owners meeting to vote him out. Period. Now, with the news breaking out that he basically cleaned out his office and he's exiled to London, it's already assumed that he already is in process of selling the team.
Mm-hmm.
So who? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Bezos, get it, Bezos.
I heard Bezos, Josh Harris, who is owners of I think the 76ers. Again, I'm not a basketball person, so I don't know how he runs.
That's Philadelphia.
Yeah. I don't know how he. Again, I don't know enough basketball to know if he is running that organization well. But I know he owns other things.
Well, I'm saying you wouldn't be able to get Philadelphia an extra team.
Can you imagine the Commanders going? They're like, yes, we can have 2 teams in Philadelphia. We're calling the Philadelphia Commanders, and the Eagles would be like, no.
Same damn division. What the hell y'all doing? Honestly, I would like. I would not see anybody more shocked about that going down than you. Like you'd be more. I would see more shock coming from you than I saw.
I think that would be the what clip?
Yes, that's exactly what I was just gonna say. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Oh my gosh, dude, that's hilarious. The Texans had too much pride to lose and go for the number 1 overall pick.
No, it was the coach that screwed him over. Lovie Smith was like, did I send you the meme of like
I think I sent you the meme.
It was you that sent it to me. You're like, he was like, I had a cute plan, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh my god.
Operation 55. And the operation was like Lovie Smith intentionally tanking intentionally trying to beat the Colts just so that the Bears could get the first overall pick.
He left him a good party. If he was like, fine, y'all gonna fire me, F you, then I'm gonna win this game. You guys will not get the number 1 pick. You're gonna get number 2 pick.
And like it's worse because if you look at the history of number 2 overall picks in the NFL, they don't last very long.
Or they suck. AKA
or both.
AKA Zach Wilson.
Yeah. Which, by the way, okay, so I saw this going back to the Aaron Rodgers and the Jets thing. I saw this really funny interview that Zach Wilson did on one of the New York periodicals, and they basically asked him. They said, "What would you do if the Jets went out and got a better quarterback?" He said, "I would make that guy's life a living hell."
Oh God! I mean, that's a 24-year-old or.
And now he's going to go.
How old is Zach Wilson?
I don't know.
Wilson is 23 years old.
Oh, that's a 23-year-old. Definitely. 1999. Oh, he's about to be 20. Wait, what? 29. Oh, wait, no, my brother's about to be 24. Okay, good. I was like, wait, what?
The reason why I mentioned that is because it's going to be interesting seeing, like, I'm guessing a quarterback battle will become personal in New York.
If the Jets end up landing
Rodgers,
Zach Wilson be either traded or cut.
I don't think he's worth enough yet to trade. I think he'd be cut.
Zach Wilson to the Colts, anyone?
Oh yes, absolutely. What a perfect fit. No, even better. I got an even better one for you. Zach Wilson to the Texans. Anyone?
No, the Texans have their
Oh.
second overall pick, so they wouldn't do that.
Actually, no, even better. Zach Wilson to Carolina. Anyone?
Oh, wait, no, they're gonna get Bryce Young.
Oh, there's got to be another team. Oh no, Zach Wilson to Tennessee. Anyone?
Oh, there you go. Zach Wilson to who's another crummy team?
The Browns. Anyone?
Assuming that Deshaun Watson doesn't pan out, yeah.
Yeah. Or
Zach Wilson to the Cardinals for a year while they wait for Kyler Murray to get
better. Or I know there's one more. I got you. Once the contract with Daniel Jones doesn't pan out, Zach Wilson to the Giants. Anyone?
Oh, that would be awkward.
Oh, it'd be hilarious though. I'd be like, no. You know what? Forget the Tyler Heineke era in Atlanta. Zach Wilson to the Falcons. Anyone?
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Desmond Ridder. Let's let you learn from a real veteran.
Damn.
That. Where's Marcus Mariota going to go now that he's probably the number 3 guy in Atlanta?
He got released, dude.
Oh, you did? Oh my gosh, Marcus Mariota to Jacksonville. Anyone?
To back up Trevor Lawrence?
Yes.
I'd be okay with that.
You could be like Taysom Hill and run gadget plays for Jacksonville.
Yeah, he was basically Doug Peterson, who was like the master of the Philly special.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we've got.
Oh, what's your take? Speaking of the Eagles, what's your take on the 2 losing offensive coordinators getting head coaching gigs? The defensive coordinator, I think his name is John Gannon or something like that, went to the Cardinals, and then the dude, I don't know the dude's name, Shane Steichen to the Colts.
It is a desperation move for the teams that hired them.
Dude, they had Eric Bieniemy at their lap.
This is the thing, though. This is the thing. Every time I see a move like this, it seems like it's kind of like the younger brother that gets jealous of the toy the older brother has, and so the parents buy them a miniature version of the same toy.
Yeah.
They just want to grab some of that Super Bowl glory, and they think hiring a coach from that Super Bowl.
Yeah, but if anything, they would hire from the coaching tree that actually won the Super Bowl, not lost it.
But maybe they can't afford to give them that kind of a contract, and so they'll grab anything.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the coaching contracts are they're not a part of the salary cap.
Maybe not, but I still think that maybe as for merchandising in other areas, they're still not making enough.
Yeah. But anyway, all right. So, question: what's your schedule looking like next week? Because depending on the topic for next week, because we're in free agency season again, so Golden Truth is gonna
cover it. Yeah, I got you.
I'm
good at any time. I think the biggest thing for me is I'm keeping my eyes and ears open for this job, because if I get it, bigger pay raise, it's going to be fantastic.
All right, yeah.
I want to make more money.
Felix. But we're back, y'all. Golden Truth for the foreseeable future, unless anything changes. Obviously we'll be covering draft stuff as well. We gotta figure out how to do mock drafts on that website. That website's inaccessible though, which really sucks.
You know what I wish we had, honestly? I wish we had like I wish we could somehow braille up a list of all the players that are going to be drafted and all the teams.
That would just take forever though for me, because I have a braille writer and
Me too.
cardstock, but like brailing all those names It's gonna take a long time.
No, I understand that. I'm just trying to think. Unless we knew somebody that had an embosser on hand.
Unfortunately, I did not invest in one.
Well, they're
That's
too
the one
expensive.
thing I did not invest in.
They're too expensive to invest in.
Huh?
They're too expensive to invest in.
Aren't they like $300?
I thought they're in the thousands.
I don't know. I used to hear about the ones when I was in school were called Romeo and Juliet. I'm like, oh.
I guess that means it's a tragedy. As a product, maybe it's a tragedy.
My vision teacher that I had at the time would she was like, "Oh, come on!" Like when the embosser would get stuck, they're like, "Oh no, Romeo, come on, don't be like that." I'm like, why are you like that's just so creepy to me.
Wait.
Or my favorite. Okay, so this is my favorite. Oh,
when Tua gets injured, Zach Wilson to Miami, please.
Oh, Jason basically texted me. I guess he's listening to the
podcast. I got you.
Yeah. What was I saying? Shit. My favorite past memory of high school. So my vision teacher used to have these little like stuffed animals, not taxidermy, like little like the toy stuff. Like, and it was a squirrel.
Squeak squeak.
So she conveniently called it nuts. So one time I used to like grab it and just like
ew, you're grabbing nuts?
No, I wasn't gonna go with that. I wasn't gonna go that way with that story, but I was like, I'm gonna go walk around. She was like, leave the squirrel. I was like, no, I need it. Like, I'm gonna care. She was like, Oscar, do not leave this classroom with the squirrel. I was like, come on. I'm like, let me
hold it.
We can treat this as the hall pass. She's like, no. I was like, okay, fine. So I literally sprint out of the classroom. She yells down the hall, come back with my nuts.
Awesome. That's the freaking best. Oh my gosh.
Me and the other blind individual, the other blind student that was at the high school at the time, died laughing.
Oh yeah. I when we were doing frog dissections and I was in school and we had to like cut open the frog, I would make jokes about how the frog's mate wanted to see what it was like on the inside. And I was like, this frog wants to get busy.
Our high school, we didn't dissect frogs. You
guys did virtual ones?
No. When I was in high school, there was no such thing as virtual, dude. I went in person.
No, not for school. I'm talking about virtual dissections.
Oh no.
Yeah. They offer programs that like that on computers that you can do that. Especially for people who are like environmentalists.
I never dissected the animal. I conveniently
just the teacher.
I conveniently would so we had to dissect a pig.
We had to do that too, actually, the frog and the pig.
Our class only did the pig. I conveniently kept on calling out sick just because I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And one of the students was so mad at me. She was like, "You couldn't show up the 2 days that we were dissecting the pig." I'm like, "Why?" And she's like, "You left me alone with the controlling Manny because we did it like as a group of 4, and I guess like the other dude that was in our group was too like controlling and bossy and stuff like that. And I knew how to like basically like backsass him and like basically like notch like take him down a notch. I was like,
feel emasculated.
I'm like, sorry. Well, actually, no. The first day, I decided to like, I actually legitimately called out sick. The second day, not my fault. I was taking alcohols.
You faked it.
But the second day, I did like, I had to like do my SOLs, and I was like, sorry. I'm like,
so you were out of luck,
basically. Man, when I told them my vision teacher that, she was like, if I was your teacher back then, I would have actually forced you. I'm like, if the teacher
Like you
back
could
then,
have.
if the teacher back then could not force me to do anything, I really
What
want to
made you
see
think you could?
dude. When I was in high school, a lot of teachers tried to force me to join clubs. And they were like, Oscar, you seriously need to join a club. I'm like, yeah, you seriously need to get a life instead of picking on a student.
I shall never do what you ask. Never.
They were like, Oscar, seriously, join a club. We'll put it in your IEP. I'm like, go ahead and put it on my IEP. I have veto power. I can say I don't want that in my IEP.
But then the IEP meeting can override the veto with a 2/3 vote.
You're a dumbass.
Takes one to know one.
By the way, thank you for not making strange noises. You have not used up your 3 noises where I would actually end the stream right on the spot. I'm immune to that. Try again. Okay, that's one. Oh my god, that reminds me of when we went to freaking Denver with Naeem and Jason, dude. So I think it was the last day that Jason was there, I think. Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're still listening. So we all finished up our breakfast. Tell me why. So Naeem's like,
he's only using one hand for his fork.
Naeem is like, so Naeem gets up and he gets up and he's like,
Somebody had a hand on where his balls.
We were like, what the? We were like, Naeem, what the heck was that? He was like, I was stretching. I'm like, dude, you can stretch without making weird noises like that. He was like,
that was his only chance to make those noises in his life.
He was like, oh. Anyway, so like Jason, he was like, dude, everyone makes noises when they stretch. I'm like, we were like, no,
not those noises.
He was like, oh yeah, you two get up and stretch and see if you guys make noises. I stretch, no noise. Jason stretch, no noise. We're like, see,
and he's like, you guys suck. That's what he says, right? He says, you guys suck.
Something that he doesn't do.
No, he just blows.
Oh.
On his own. After he lost.
No, he just sucks on his sack since he doesn't have his balls. Dang.
Talk about getting sacked.
That 5 times fast. Damn. I don't know how I said that. He tries to suck up. I can't even say it anymore. He tries to suck on his sack because he has no balls.
Ooh. He tries to suck on a sack. He tries to sip and suck on a sack. Sip and suck on a sack.
Okay, that's 2. Come on, man. You have to do it all spaced out. Not 3 times consecutive. Come on.
That's what she said. But not to Naeem.
Oh, shit. I'll give you that one. Ooh, that was cringy.
Said your mom.
Oh!
Come on. Oh, give it up, do it.
Well, I guess that'll do it for this episode.
I guess so.
Stay tuned if things that what Kirk Cousins would do.
Yes, the $1,000 pyramid, things that Kirk Cousins would do.
Oh man, I remember like the stream that we did, the 4 of us together. Dude, I could not end that stream. Like Naeem was interrupting like my outro and shit. Like that was bad.
He had less tact than a broken cane.
Facts.
Actually, it was his broken cane. He didn't have any rolling tips for the edge of his cane.
Damn.
Metaphors.
Naeem is well. We buried Naeem on the YouTube out. I remember, dude. He was such a bandwagoner in the Super Bowl. Man, you should have been at that Super Bowl live stream.
I hosted a party. What can I say? I actually have a life, unlike you guys.
Hey, we had a life. We were watching the Super Bowl.
And you were busting on Naeem. Oh, that's right. It hit him in the face.
Wait, what? I didn't hear that.
I said you guys busted on Naeem, and I said it hit him in the face.
Damn.
That's as close as he'll get the balls.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Like that day, like dude, like Naeem was like on the. All I remember was him being on the Eagles bandwagon. And after after the Chiefs scored that touchdown with like 8 seconds left, Jason and I just grabbed whatever I had left in my with my I forgot what I had.
With your Long Island iced tea?
No, it wasn't iced tea.
You grabbed your Rocky Mountain oysters.
Mango rum. Mango Malibu rum.
Ooh,
dude, I don't remember how I got after that. Don't know how I ended the stream. Don't remember what happened the rest of the night.
The stream basically ended itself at that point.
Basically. Because all I remember was the Chiefs scored, won the Super Bowl. Me and Jason started screaming and dancing like crazy.
Yeah. I didn't have any alcohol. It wouldn't have been as good. I would have been sober while y'all would have been drunk.
I mean, Naeem was sober.
Well, but to be fair, his everyday sober is everyone else's drunk.
Damn. Man, he does act like a child, though. Like I'll say something off stream, like something that happened to me yesterday with him, or 2 days ago, rather.
All right, I'm all ears, literally. I can.
But let me end the stream. All right, y'all. Golden Truth. Unless anything, for some odd reason, the NFL goes silent with no news. Schedule next week for Friday, same time, 7:30, 8 o'clock, whatever time we started this live stream.
Yep.
But all right, y'all, we're out of here.
Peace, homies.